Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Dr. Ami Dakshini. I'm a dermatologist and today I'm going to talk about myths on skin care. While you are talking about, while you're reading so much about skincare and you flip through a super magazine on skincare and beauty, or you read a blog of your favorite, a person who's writing about skincare, there are so many things and so many advices and tips that one gives you, but most of them have something behind it, and many a times they are not just untrue, but they're absolutely wrong. And which is the reason today I've taken up this forum to talk to you about what is missing or what is there in between these words and lines that one needs to know as an informed customer. With my background of dermatology and with so much of research that I've been doing on skincare products, today I'm taking up again at this stage to talk to you about it. I'm going to begin with nothing but sunscreen. If you look at the only word that goes with skincare is sunscreen, and I recommend, and I actually I'm pleading all of you to use a sunblock or a sunscreen even if you are sitting at home. It's a one wonder skincare product which you can prevent so many things, not just aging but lines, wrinkles, pigmentation. There's so much, and just a simple tan and the glow, natural glow on your face can all be got just by using a simple sunscreen. If you want to know more details on how UV light damages the skin, I have spoken about it earlier and you can check that out. But today I'm going to talk about 4 myths of sunscreen. The first is that I do not need to use a sunscreen because I'm indoors, or probably on a cloudy or rainy day, I don't need sunscreen. So just to tell you that no, we all need sunscreen even if you're indoors, because sunlight penetrates through the window panes, through your balcony. So it does, even through the clouds on a rainy day. So you need to protect yourself even though you are indoors or it is rainy. Yeah. The other thing about sunscreen is that we have this kind of phobia, especially in India, that I have vitamin D deficiency. And if I use a sunscreen, then, it's going to reduce the penetration of sunlight and conversion to vitamin D. So again, it's good news that you do not need to worry about that, because you need sunlight for conversion and not ultraviolet light. So you can safely apply sunscreen with no change in sunlight absorption and vitamin D production. The other myth that most of my patients say is that, Doc, I apply an SPF 50 and I'm through, the entire day, I don't need to do anything else. Now this again is not true, because a sunscreen, what is an SPF? It's a sun protection factor for that particular time when the product is on your face. So an SPF 15 or a 50 is only that much amount of protection it's giving you. It's not that much longer time protection. You sweat, you go to swim, you apply your, you touch your face, you wear your clothes. All this is going to reduce your sunscreen on the face. So you need to reapply it every 2 to 3 hours if you want the maximum benefit. So that's one more. The other thing that I commonly see is that people say, I'm using an SPF moisturizer, so I don't need a sunscreen. Now, remember, SPF only takes care of your UVB light. It doesn't take care of ultraviolet A. And ultraviolet A is the most important when it comes to aging. We need to halt ultraviolet A penetration because it goes in much deeper. It works on the collagen, it degrades the collagen, it causes more open pores, fine lines, wrinkles, and in many cases even skin cancers. So a PA factor present in your sunscreen is very important because it gives you the idea of ultraviolet A protection. So I would say today that just pick up a sunscreen where it's written broad spectrum, because it covers ultraviolet A as well as B. The last but not the least about sunscreen is that When I'm using makeup, I'm anyways using foundation and multiple layers. I don't need to use a sunscreen and I don't need to reapply a sunscreen. Now remember that even if you do use a sunscreen, you don't use a sunscreen but use a foundation, you need sun protection. And when you need sun protection is because you are going to get exposed and your foundation only has X amount of protection, not more than that. So remember to pick up a moisturizer, a primer which has a sunscreen in it before you apply your foundation as the base. That's going to give you maximum protection. Yes, Mehak, for dry skin people, 1% lactic acid, absolutely. It will not dry out because lactic acid also acts as a humectant. So you can safely use a face wash with 1% lactic acid. It works beautifully. Yeah, again, this is a myth that you can't use alpha and beta hydroxy acid products if you have dry skin, but it doesn't work like that. Lactic acid is a beautiful humectant and you can use it for dry skin. So go ahead and buy one. It's fine. The other things, now I'm going to come to skincare products. Skincare products are extremely important to choose the right one. And that's why very quickly I'm going to talk about 10 myths that we generally have when we go to pick up a skincare product. And the first most important being, more the expensive the product, the better it's going to act. This is generally not true. You know, when you pick up any skincare product, it is not that, you know, because it's more expensive, the company must have spent more time in doing research, getting us better ingredients, and which is why it's more expensive. It doesn't work that way. So best is to turn around, as I keep saying, turn around the product, check the ingredients, read about it, check about the brand, how much of clinical trials they are doing, and what exactly is their claim before you pick up a product, irrespective of the price. The second thing that I want you to, the second, big myth that we all have is that I have to pick up the product according to my age. So if I'm between 20 and 30, I need product for younger people. If I'm above 40, I need only anti-aging. Again, that doesn't go at all. Yeah, your skin age is very different from your biologic age in most of us. You might look younger, but your biologic age says something different. And if that's the case, we all love it. But many a times, the skin age is far faster than our biologic age, especially when we don't use products much earlier in life. And that's when you need to figure out what problems or what issues you're facing before you start using any skincare product. So don't go by the age, go by your problems and your skin type before you pick up a product. Yes, Mehak. Occlusives. I wouldn't recommend too much of an occlusive based moisturizer, Mehak. I would prefer you to use something which is more longer lasting and which has good hydrating factors. So occlusion is not as much important. Yeah, so don't go by that. The next thing, as a dermatologist, I'm saying this, the next thing is dermatologically tested or dermatologically recommended. And we all feel that that's going to be magic, because a doctor has recommended, it's surely going to show results on my face. But here, believe me, as a dermatologist, I'm saying that many a times it's only one doctor who's, behind this product and who's given a go-ahead for this product, and they write dermatologically tested or recommended. So always go back, check the ingredients, figure out what you need, ask people, the right people to check what you need and then use it. Do not go by these false claims. Few other false claims I want to talk about. One is hypoallergenic. Most of us have this feeling that I have got extremely sensitive skin and I can't use products, and that is why I need hypoallergenic products. Now, if you look, the market has used this fear very well. It uses this and writes hypoallergenic, and we all run to pick that product. Now, remember that again, US FDA has not mentioned anywhere that these are the specifications for a hypoallergenic product. The only way by which we can decide is to test it on our own skin. So remember to do that and don't go by these false claims. Fragrance, color are the known allergens. So if you do have a sensitive skin, avoid too much of color fragrance in your products, but do not go by hypoallergenic label. Yeah. The next false claim I'm coming to is cosmeceutical. Now, what do they mean here is that it's a combination of cosmetic product and certain herbs or medicinal products added into it. So then you feel, oh wow, this is like a medicine and it's going to work like a medicine. Again, we are completely misled over here. Most of the cosmeceuticals, if you see in the market, cannot or do not have the actives to that much extent that a drug or a medicine has. So these are very good to maintain your skin, especially when it doesn't have a problem. But when you do notice certain problems, please visit your dermatologist. First get treated, and then you can start using these products for maintenance. That's how it's going to work. Again, US FDA has not written any specifications for cosmeceuticals. So it's just a name come up by the marketing gurus. The next, I'm going much further now, is natural or herbal products or chemical-free products. Now here, please remember, natural products are all that I'm talking about, which you can apply in the kitchen when you get it in the kitchen. That is it. There is nothing natural when it is bottled or when it's jarred, because to keep the natural active, we need to preserve it. And what do we use to preserve it? We anyways use chemicals, so-called chemicals, to preserve it. So at the end of the day, it's the same thing. And believe me, chemicals are not scary. Water itself is a chemical, H2O. And we drink it, we use it, we apply it, we bathe with it. So remember, look at the ingredients correctly and do not go by this natural or chemical free labels, because that is not true. Even herbal, yes, there is a mix of herbs in that product, but there are always chemicals in it because you need to bind it. You need to preserve it. You need to color it. You need to give fragrance. All those that are added are chemicals. But all these chemicals, the only thing you need to remember, if you get it from a good brand, these have been tried, tested in a lab to prove that they do not cause any harm. So don't go by these products of natural and herbal. Go by the ingredients that you are looking for the problem that you want to solve. The next thing that I have seen in many of my patients is brand loyalty. I wear shoes only from Nike and I will just do that. I am not going to change. My Hush Puppy slippers are the best and I just follow it blindly. So even if there are better brands and better products available, we do not want to try out because there's a kind of loyalty that we have. Remember, in skincare, there's so much advancement happening every single day. And you have so many brands coming up with newer innovations, newer patented products. So remember, don't go by just the brand, go by the latest innovations, by the latest research. Talk to your dermatologist, read about it before you decide on what to pick up. And don't worry, you can mix and match your products. So it's not that you need to use Bioderma for your face wash, for your sunscreen, for your night cream. No. You pick what suits you best. So you can mix an Avene sunscreen with a Bioderma moisturizer and probably a face wash which is a natural one, like a Glorious face wash, something like that. Look at the ingredients. Get a feel of how it is on your skin before you decide. So expensiveness, it's brand or the natural or chemical free, do not go by those. Pick the right ingredient from the right company after doing research. Yeah. The last two things I want to talk to you as again a doctor is that people feel that when I apply a product and if it's tingling or if it's burning, then it's a two-way process. One, just stop it and say it doesn't suit my skin and my skin is extremely sensitive. The other side is, oh, it's working on my skin and that is why it's tingling or burning. Now remember, certain products are known to tingle and burn because they have those kind of ingredients like say peppermint oil or capsaicin or maybe glycolic acid. If they are known to tingle And if they tingle, it's fine. But if they do not have ingredients or they don't specify over there, and if it's causing tingling or burning sensation, do not pick it up. That's important. Yeah, Mehak, I do online consultations, yes. So anytime you can call up the clinic and we'll arrange for one. And yes, please, I also want to visit the clinic, guys, but just because of Corona, this is the way I think I can talk to you, and which is why I'm doing this, so that I can reach out to you and answer your queries. Any other queries you have, guys, please ask me. But before I leave you, I just want to say one very important thing. No skincare product is perfect. So when there is a claim that it erases your lines and wrinkles or it completely removes the pigmentation, do not fall for it, because products can never ever do that. Yeah, they can reduce, they can maintain, but they can't completely remove. If in a particular area you need a cosmetic intervention like a laser or a Botox or a filler, a product can't replace that. So remember, in these cases, when you really need a complete change, please do visit your dermatologist to see immediate benefit, and you can then take it forward by applying the right creams. So this is all that I wanted to say. And one last thing before I go, do not think that a product, if you use for too long, your skin has got used to it or adapted to it and it's not working. That's never true. Every day we eat bananas and spinach and dry fruits. Our body never gets adapted to it. We keep eating to get the benefits. Same as with your creams. If it suits your skin and if it's showing initial great improvement, please continue those creams. Figure out the actives and see if they work on your skin for that age, and do it. And believe me, constant usage and patience and perseverance will give you amazing skin, beautiful, healthy, glowing skin. And that's what we are looking for. We're not looking for fairness. We're not looking for reduction or complete erasing of problems. We're only looking for a healthy, glowing, brighter skin. And that should be our aim before we pick up the products. I hope this session has helped you, and I hope this helps you in picking up the right products for your skin. Do a lot of trial and error, read about it. Our skin needs it, it's worth it. It's the largest organ of our body, and I think we need to take care of it. So please do. And if there are any questions or queries, please write to me. If there are any specific things that you want me to talk about, please feel free to communicate with me, and I will surely do that. I hope you all stay safe, and I'll see you again next Wednesday, where I'm going to talk about facial features. And I'm going to talk about how to enhance our skin and our features to look natural and not made up, but still look the way we want it to. Yeah, so please join me next time when I talk to you about your skin and your face. Thank you so much for being here today, and stay safe. Bye.